everyone, it's Rosanna. I have been in the garden. It's been a strange season for me. I don't know how to describe it. I've been very much at loose ends, and so I guess I've just been trying to ground myself and do some things that seem natural. So here you can see I am picking my first crop of radishes from the garden. I have never grown radishes before. I know they're very easy to grow, and I'm very happy with them. In fact, I made spun cotton radishes a few months ago, but I think these are maybe even more satisfying to pull a big fat radish out of the ground, and aren't they beautiful? In my other garden, I just thought I'd show you because this is really what I've been doing. I haven't done any art since my last video that I shared. So I've really been focusing on the gardens, and I know this garden is kind of that I'm showing you. It used to be my cutting garden, and it was very orderly, and I had beautiful rows of zinnias and cosmos and other things, but we've had such severe drought the last several years that just wasn't possible for me to do without a lot of irrigation. And because I don't feel right about pulling that much groundwater up just for cut flowers, I've moved away from those things for now, and so I'm just letting things self-seed and see what can survive here. And so this year, as you can see, a lot of my flowers are outside of the beds. They're in the pathways, and I'm just letting that be because I love my corn poppies, or my Shirley poppies, whatever you want to call them, and I love my corn flowers. And there I'm just letting them have their moment because there aren't a ton of flowers that I can get to bloom for me here, especially in these drought years that we've had. And so I'm letting them just do their thing wherever they came up. Bloom where you're planted is the saying, I think, and I really I take that to heart when I'm gardening. If it comes up, I pretty much let something bloom where it planted itself. So this is the poppy season for me. It's one of my favorite times of the year to go out early in the morning and see what poppies have popped overnight and what colors I have. I just wanted to show you my cute little garden gate. It's my favorite part of the garden right now. It's from the Pullmans, the Hilda Pullman, who I've shared in quite a few videos. That was in their garage when we cleaned it out. So I hope the rest of the fence will someday kind of match the weathered wood of the gate. We're going to put some different stuff over it. What we have here is just 2x4s with chicken wire on it, and there will be kind of a front to that fence added later. But here's Miss Matilda. We're kind of out in this rain, and she's not sure if she's happy about it. So I've been making kind of a tea most days for myself. I love this season when we have herbs. I'm getting more and more into herbs, so I'm trying some different things, but I've been doing kind of a mix of dandelion and mint and sage and raspberry leaf and yarrow, and those are all kind of things that are supposed to help with, menopause and female symptoms, digestion, and even stress or calming your nerves. So I gather a big bunch and make tea. You can see, maybe some of you will recognize bells of Ireland. Those always self-seed, and I didn't do a great job of thinning them, and then it was so dry that they really were very, very stressed, and so they pushed into their flower form, which is the green bell, before they were the size they really should be. So I have kind of mini bells of Ireland this year, but that's okay because I'm not planning on picking a lot of them. They were one of my grandma's favorites, so I always included them in bouquets for her. But she's gone, and my grandlady Lucille is gone, and I don't make as many bouquets as I was for a few years, although I'm thinking maybe I should start that up and just take things to the nursing home, but I didn't. Like I said, I haven't planted a lot of cut flowers this year. I just let things kind of do what they wanted to. Matilda found a little dry spot there. I always plant one packet of Amazing Gray. I shouldn't say always because it's a fairly new type of Shirley poppy or corn poppy, but there's one called Amazing Gray, and it is kind of shades of this grayish lavender purple. There's comes in different variations, but I usually get 1 or 2 plants of it. It's just not quite as strong as some of the other colors, but it's always fun to get a few of those. Peonies, and finally, it does take quite a few years to get a peony established, but this is one that's planted over the grave of a sheep that we had, and she was one of the first animals we lost. Not the first, but we tried so hard. We actually brought her she lived in our basement for a month. So this is where Mary's sheep is buried. And then next to her, I have the Generous Gardener, I think that's what it's called, Climbing Rose, which is a David Austin rose. And it did get quite a bit of spray damage this year, but now the blooms are sort of coming out of it, and I really should bring some of these in so they don't get brown and soggy from the rain. So I mentioned I like to gather herbs and make a little tea, and I am not a real herbalist. Like, I don't study it as much as I probably ought to, but I just love all herbs. I love strong flavors and bitter flavors, and I seem to kind of crave bitter things. I have for a lot of years now. I've kind of read a little bit about why that might be, which I think has to do with the liver and things like that. But anyway, I won't get into that. I just like to gather whatever I can get my hands on. And I do find, I mentioned we've been in a drought. I find that a lot of herbs are something that can survive in drought conditions, as are roses. So if you are also experiencing very, very dry weather, and you can't grow the flowers and things that you like to or would like to, I would suggest maybe start getting into herbs, because they do survive, it seems like, and they're very useful. So I won't pretend that I have done any art. I have not touched I've just walked through my art room. It held plants and things, and but I have not used it. I dusted the work table the other day, but it's just been sitting there since before Nettie's birthday. But I'm thinking a little bit. I'm starting to have like tiny thoughts, fleeting thoughts, I should say, running through my head of like, oh, maybe pull out your paints and see, this morning for half an hour and see what happens. And I haven't actually done it yet, but I've thought it several mornings. So I think, I just have periods like that, and the garden has really sucked me in this spring, and I'm been happy to have that place to find a little bit of peace. I won't say that I have been in a great place mentally, because I haven't, and I'm not. And I don't want to, I don't think I need to get into that too much. I know a lot of you also struggle with different things like depression, anxiety, OCD, that type of stuff, and I don't want to focus too heavily on that in this video, but I've definitely been in one of those holes, and just trying to come out of that. It's a really hard time in our country and our world, and I don't know how you could not feel challenged right now. I just do not. And I definitely am feeling challenged to feel typically you guys know my art is quite whimsical, and so you're probably looking at these radishes and like, well, where's the cute like mouse or character? And I just haven't been feeling that really as much lately. So I pulled out these radish paintings I did a couple months ago and scanned them in, and I've just been making little stickers and stationery things to send to a few friends, because I just like to have different, I don't like to send the same cards all the time. So but I've been thinking, well, maybe I would be up to painting a carrot. That's how low my bar is right now. It's like, do you think you could paint a carrot today? And I feel like I could work up to it soon. So that's okay. That's just, it's okay. I think you have to just accept where you are and what you're able to do at that moment, and try not to beat yourself up. So anyway, I just thought I would show you this because I'm really trying to get myself back into a little bit of an art habit again. And also I thought, oh, I could do a little, since this is kind of a weird video, why don't we do like the happy mail thing again? So I'll pick 3 people again in the comments if you want to get just a ton of radish themed things in a letter from me. That's what I'll do this time, is some sort of radish happy mail. Maybe I'll put some other things in too, but you're gonna have to like radishes if you want this particular batch of happy mail. So 3 of you I will pick in the comments, and that's all I'm gonna say about art this time. I may go out in the rain and pick a few poppies. Most of the poppies were too droopy from the rain already, but I salvaged these, and I'll show you what I do to the stems. Okay, so you just boil some water, hold, then pop the stems into that for about 30 seconds. And then after about 30 seconds, you can either pop them into a different container with cool water, or run cool water into your vase or bottle or whatever you have. I think, don't quote me on this because I haven't looked it up recently, I'm pretty sure, originally I thought what it did was it like sealed the stem and then somehow just, I don't know, but I think what it actually does is, because poppies are a flower that produces kind of that milky latex type stuff, when you cut them, what actually happens, I think, is that latex kind of forms on the end of the stem and like makes a little plug or seals it off, and then they don't take up water. So I think that the boiling water actually prevents that, or like opens up the stem so that they can continue to take up water. But I'm not positive. I really should look that up or you should look it up before you believe that I know what I'm talking about. But I think that's right. So these should be good for several days, because the ones outside are not looking too hot at this point. It's silly to put all your flowers on your kitchen windowsill, but I just spend so much time here that's where they're going right now. So another kitchen window bouquet. And I appreciate you being here with me. I hope that some of you, if you've just been wondering where I'd gone to, I apologize I couldn't bring like an art make along, but this is where I've been. I will get back to the art eventually when it's time, I guess. For me, I'm sure for some of you feel like it's definitely time, but anyway, I know there's a ton of other people here who are sharing good things that you can check out, and I will be back when I can. Thank you so much for watching and for all your support, and happy making or happy gardening.